People assume pain is what makes someone leave. But sometimes love and compassion are stronger than pain. Sometimes you remain because you can see the wound beneath the harm, and you keep hoping love will heal what apology never could. Of course I saw the pain. I lived inside it every day. People on the outside always believe the answer is simple. They ask how you could stay with someone who keeps hurting you, as though suffering itself should be enough to make the soul walk away. But they do not see the moments in between, the softness after the storm, the trembling voice filled with regret, the rare moments where the walls finally fall and you catch a glimpse of the woundedness beneath the cruelty. And when you love someone, compassion becomes dangerous. Because when you can see another person's pain clearly enough, your instinct is not always to protect yourself. Sometimes your instinct is to stay long enough to help them heal, to love them carefully enough that they stop hurting both themselves and you. So you remain, not out of weakness, not out of blindness, out of a devotion so deep it becomes its own undoing. You begin mistaking temporary remorse for transformation. You cling to the version of them that only appears in fragments. You convince yourself that healing simply takes time, that patience will someday break the cycle, that love, if given purely enough, can resurrect what was broken long before you arrived. And slowly, hope becomes its own prison. But patterns do not lie. What repeats itself is not accident. It is revelation. And the soul cannot bleed in the same place forever without beginning to hollow out. That is the moment something changes. Not because love disappears, not because compassion dies, but because you finally understand a terrible truth. Compassion cannot heal someone who refuses to transform. And love cannot survive where harm continues to return unchanged. There is a grief that has no name for what it feels like to love someone fully, and watch that love change nothing. To have poured yourself into another person like an offering, and realize the vessel was never willing to be made whole. So you walk away carrying grief instead of hatred. Because the hardest part was never realizing they were hurting you. The hardest part was accepting that your love could not save them from themselves. And that is not failure. That is the most painful form of wisdom a soul can earn.